What's up again, everybody? Today we're going to do something a little bit fun, a little bit special. We're going to look at a dead game. Today we're going to look at Argent Saga. I have some interesting stories to tell you. I never played this game. I've never opened a booster pack of this game. I have not really even looked at the cards to a certain degree. So I'm kind of excited because I kind of want to see what it's all about. Unfortunately, it is a dead game. And what does that mean? A dead game is something that is no longer in production, no longer in print. It is no longer being supported. It has reached its, I guess, completion, you could say it that way. Argent Saga was released in 2019 to much praise and much hype. And through a variety of different reasons, the game ended up dying. One of the biggest reasons is the fact that COVID happened. And this was a game that was produced, I guess it was put out there by ARG, wasn't it? Isn't it? I would think that they would have that on there. Nevertheless, anyway, it's a game that was very hyped when it first released, and was very just people were excited about it. People said the gameplay was really fun. It was unique to a certain degree. Look at this, we got a little box topper. Look at that. Let's see if we can get the focus up on the box topper. I didn't realize it came with a box topper. That's fun. Interesting. Curse of the Witch Queen. Like I said, I never actually played this, but I do have an interesting story about. I'm gonna take. I'll leave the box topper in there. I have an interesting story about this game. So, in 2019, I was. Hey, buddy, what's up?
I'm gonna get a game.
Okay. Do you want me to help you with it?
Yes.
Oh, you got it.
No practice league for ASA basketball. Just have games. You have 6 games.
15 minutes and I'll play it with you, okay?
No, I was talking to
I know. Okay, where were we at? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I was saying. Oh, I was telling you a story. Okay, so check it out. Here's the story. In 2019, this game released, and it released to fanfare. It was like August or something like that. I remember hearing a lot of people talking about the release and how interesting it was, or like it's going to be a really big game. And also that year, in October, Flesh and Blood released as well. And so both of them were sort of tied together. Both of them were like grouped up and like, hey, these are upcoming games. I remember even like Rudy made a video like, hey, these two games are both like up and comers. Wow, that pack feels kind of weird. It's like, look at this crimp. Very interesting. Oh man, it's like kind of sticky. And so it was December of 2019, and I was teaching a new player how to play Flesh and Blood at Reaper Game Store. And after we played Flesh and Blood, he looked at me because he knew that it was an interesting feeling pack. He knew that I made YouTube videos, and he was like, "You should make YouTube videos on Argent Saga." And I thought about it for a second. I was like, "That does seem pretty interesting. I've heard stuff about it. Maybe I should." And I went over to the cash register, and I just stared at the packs of Argent Saga. And I was like, should I do this? And I finally decided, no, I'll wait. And every time I went back, this was before COVID, of course, because COVID happened like 4 months later. Every time I went back, I looked at the packs, and I said, no, I'll wait. And apparently, if you wait too long, the game dies. So I don't know what I was doing there. Nevertheless, here's a game that I never picked up and that I never played myself, but I've heard fantastic things about. The gameplay itself seemed pretty interesting. The tower mechanic seemed really interesting. I thought it was kind of cool, just this idea of like lane games and that sort of thing. And I heard good things about like the art. Let's take a look. Banner of Vabrilili. Very interesting. And so I thought, you know what? It's been a while. The game was announced, by the way, if you didn't hear. The game was announced, I don't know, maybe halfway through quarantine for me, that it was dead. last summer, I guess. Was it last? No, it was sooner than that. It was like beginning, maybe it's beginning of this year. Beginning of this year. March of the Coram Brigade. It's very cool. Savage Cell Sword. Now, you see here, here's one thing I don't know. The rarity of the cards. Where is that listed? I'm trying to find a place where the rarity would be listed. It's very interesting. I'm going to assume it's this dot in the center. Hey, look at that. We've got the animated spell book. And this was another thing that I heard. So one of the reasons I ended up not picking up the game, or several reasons, were just some of the things that I'd heard about the game and about the, particularly the management, right? The management of the game. That is beautiful looking. It feels like it should be etched, the foil. I've also heard that, like, when the game first released, they did this foiling trick over the entire thing, and you couldn't read the cards or see very well the thing there. And then, of course, there's the shard. Ancient Shard. Interesting. So I'm going to assume that this is a higher rarity card. I should probably look it up. Here, I'm going to pause the video and look up the rarities. Got it. So looked up the rarities. This is a rare. The foiling is pretty cool, the way that they did that. I'm assuming that because of the reprint, or because they reprinted the first set. Apparently, the very first set that was released, correct me if I'm wrong, had some weird printing errors, where they basically just foiled over the entire card, and then they changed the print error. So yes, this is the common rarity symbol, Phantasmal Army. Yeah, the art's kind of interesting. There are certain pieces that I go like, that's pretty cool looking. Underground mech base, secrets revealed. It was a game that I was like definitely interested in actually giving a try and playing, and for that reason, I was always sitting there at their cash register. Maybe I should pick up a few packs, take a look at it, see what it feels like. We have another rare, Glittering Whelp. It's pretty cool. Arrive, you can reveal 2 dragon units from your hand. If you do, draw a card. It's a pretty cool effect. 500 health points, and look, we got a shard point. Cool. So it's an interesting thing that, like, the game itself, from what I could tell, I watched a video, maybe, I don't know, about a week ago or so, just on the game itself. And this is part of the reason that I got the idea of buying a box. That's a pretty picture. Look at that. That's pretty. About just what caused the game to die, or what sort of led to the death of the game. The Slumbering Drake, the Wanda, Witch of Warding. And it was one of those scenarios where there were a bunch of, like, little things, but they all nickel and dimed. That's pretty. Wow, that's a nice foiling. Why is that foiling so much more mirrored and different? That's Order of the Rose. It's a pretty cool little card. I like that. Ooh, followed by, what is this? This is a different symbol. A Phantasmal Storm. Is this like a super rare? I think this is a super rare. It's pretty cool. Beautiful little photo, or beautiful little picture there. Instacast. Deal 2,000 to target unit. Shard Drain 1. Expel this card from your discard zone. Search your deck for a Phantasmal Storm and add it to your hand. Oh, that's an interesting effect too. There are some things that, like, remind me of Yu-Gi-Oh, like just the health points thing, very Yu-Gi-Oh-esque, where you had like 1,852 health points minus 28,000. Do the math. It was like, oh, this is kind of Yu-Gi-Oh-esque. Nevertheless, it's interesting to look and see how, when this card is expelled, you can deal 1,000 damage to target unit. How different card games handle things like health and resource systems, and it's just very interesting. I was watching a video, that's what I was talking about, animated broomstick, on why the game kind of died, and it was just a combination of how they handled their release. Got another rare here with a Slate Gargoyle. Very cool. How they handled their release, how they handled the first print run thing, how they handled some promos and some OP kits stuff. I'll link you to the video if you're curious about it. It was made by a smaller YouTube channel, and I thought the dude that kind of walked through it, it's a 5-month ago video, did a fantastic job of explaining it. I'll see if I can dig that back up. That's a beautiful piece of art. But you never know. I think that's the weird thing about card games is like, all it takes is one slip up. This was the card that we just had in foil a second ago. Man, it looked pretty in foil. It still looks good. Song of the Sky. It's kind of an interesting piece of art. Red Rose Knight. We have a Transmutation Circle. She's going to have a bad time. That's all I'm saying. followed by a Sand Sea Nomad, and a, wow, cool looking Glory the Sealed Blade. Augment gear. Equip only to a unit with cost 4 or more. It gains Brawler. Cool. Keyword. Argent Shard. And one of the things, too, is the talk of, like, the card stock. So this card stock does feel different, like, noticeably different to other games. Like here, I have on my desk, for example, this is Cardamundi card stock. It feels very Magic the Gathering-esque. It feels very Flesh and Blood-esque. This feels stiffer, which is just a conscious choice. I mean, that's your choice. The edges feel clean. I mean, overall, it feels like it was cut well and, you know, managed well. But I heard apparently at the beginning of the game they, you know, changed between different card stocks or something like that. So it is what it is. So if you played Argent Saga, I'd love for you to go down into the comments and tell me about your experience with the game, because like I said, I've heard many people talk about the gameplay itself to just be actually really, really fun. Phantasmal Army again. Some of these do really have really cool art. Charisse, Archivist of Worlds, followed by Natural Evil, a foil common. Each player sacrifices a unit. Oh, hey, look at that. That is beautiful looking. Madame Phantasm. That's pretty. I like the foiling on this one, where they kind of do the, it's almost like an anime card game foiling, where they do the lines in and they hit it with that sparkle. That is fantastic. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is a super, I believe. This is a super rare card, which is kind of nice. And so far we've gotten, and I should probably separate these into rarities. We have a super, a common, a rare. This is also a super, I think. Phantasmal Storm. We have a common, rares. We got some rares. You know, one thing I'm noticing, since this is the first time I've really experienced any of these cards, I really do like the symbols, the rarity symbols here. I've always been a fan of rarity symbols, and this is something that I think for Flesh and Blood as well. I enjoy rarity symbols over just like a circle with a letter. I was kind of, when Flesh and Blood first released, I was kind of on the bandwagon of like Panzer, the Dracosteed. It's funny. I was on the bandwagon of like, just introduce symbols for your cards, because it's just easier to kind of break down and see and understand. Colors work well too. That's what they have. They have a color system with a circle. Wow, look at that. Entreat the Blaze Walkers. That is a cool looking card. Followed by a Neutral Evil, which we have in foil, and we have another this is a super, right? Blaze Striker Dive. That's a cool looking card as well. Do all of the supers get that same effect? I'm curious. Do all of the supers get that same kind of... Yeah, they do. So maybe that's another way to delineate a super rare versus like... This one has like a washed texture, and these are mirrored. Huh. That is an interesting way to delineate your rarities as well. I like that. I don't think I've ever seen that in another card game. Take your different rarities and give them different foilings every single time. That's an interesting thing. Mischievous Witch, Treat, Order of the Rose, Song of the Sky, Red Rose Knight. We have Transmutation Circle again. We have another foil common, followed by a foil rare, Ella the Sky Huntress. Arrive, you can discard a Sky Raider unit or airship unit from your hand. If you do, target unit loses all abilities, cannot attack. As long as you control that card. So yeah, this is something I'm curious about. I don't know this either. I wonder if is there a distribution like per box? Like, are you guaranteed X amount of whatevers? Something I don't know. So tell me in the comment below. Is there a breakdown per box? Blaze Walker, Lieutenant Ray. If there is, I'd love to know that, and to see kind of what you'd expect from each box. We have a foil rare Sand Sea Drake in that pack. It's kind of interesting to go back and look at a card game that you know is not being produced anymore. It makes it to where, like, for me, I never got into Argent Saga. And when I look at it now, I think to myself, you know, this actually does look fairly interesting. It's one of those things where, why did I, in the moment, choose not to go for it? And what is the reasoning behind that choice? Woo, that is beautiful. Wow, look at that. Liam, Brutal Tyrant. Hello there. Is this a secret rare? I think this is a secret. No, this is an Argent rare. I think that's the term for this one. Let's look. This is a secret rare. Holy crap, look at that, man. That is beautiful. Are you supposed to get one of these in every box? I'm curious. Look at the way they did the foiling on this one, where they kind of crisscross the foils so that when you turn it, it looks as though you're like seeing either like a water reflection. That is beautiful. If you destroyed an opponent's tower or unit in battle this turn, you can equip target gear from discard to this card. Wow, that is interesting. That is a beautiful card. Yeah, it's like, what? So what led to me saying, nah, son, to buying into this game? And what can we learn from that? For me, I think, and this is just speaking from my experience, so you tell me in a comment below, if you did not get into Argent Saga before it met its untimely demise, tell me what yours was. For me, it was hearing about just like some mismanagement things from the top. I was like, that's kind of off-putting. And I don't know. I think, wow, another one in back-to-back. So apparently you don't get one of these per box. Apparently you get more than one. The Great Behemoth. This card costs 1 less to play for each unit you control with cost 2 or less. Units you control with cost 2 or less get plus 1,000 health. Oh, I'm always going to chuckle about that. This has 3,000 health. That had 3,000 health. It's funny. When you hear that, like, there's arguing going on from people that, like, develop the game, and really that was the #1 thing for me. Hearing that, I was like, oh, I don't know. I heard it from actual players of the game. They were like, yeah, this is, I mean, like, you go to a tournament and that happens and you're like, I don't want to go to that. For me, I didn't want to be a part of that. I was like, it may be a cool game, but if that's going on, is that something that I want to be a part of? Not really. These cards are thick. They are thick. There is an Obsidian Gargoyle foil rare. So for me, that was the thing. If you didn't get into Argent Saga, what was it for you? It could be that, like, you know, because Argent Saga released and then Flesh and Blood released, maybe there were all these new games coming out and you just said, nah, I'm just going to stick to the games that I like or that I already play. Maybe that was a thing for you. Man, I like that art. There's a couple of these pieces that I'm like, that art is really good. But this is curious. I mean, this mirrored finish on that foil common. Ah, that is a really cool thing. Black Rose Knight foil rare. It's a really cool thing the way they do the foilings for the different rarities. I like that. It's kind of an interesting tactic that you can do that trains your pack opener what they actually open. It's kind of cool. Trick, Guiding Winds, March of the Corium Brigade, or is it Corum? It's just Corum Brigade. We have a Red Rose Knight foil common, a foil rare Granite Gargoyle. No, excuse me, a foil super Granite Gargoyle. It's pretty cool. Wait, was that a card we already opened? I feel like that's a card we already opened. That's weird. Very interesting indeed. And those are secret rares. So the only rarity we haven't seen is an Argent rare. I don't know if that's like the most rare or what. Again, you'll have to help me, because this is my first time opening this game, but I do find it very intriguing. Oh, hey, look, that's beautiful. Mega Shard Mech Titan Yugo. Like, that's the naming convention right there. That's like the... Oh, that one goes in this stack. That right there is some straight-up Yu-Gi-Oh names. Mega Shard Mech Titan Yugo. That is straight-up Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like, you could print that card, slip it into a Yu-Gi-Oh pack, and someone would probably believe that that's a Yu-Gi-Oh. Is that some feathering on the tops? Yeah. Not too bad. March of the Corum Brigade again. So I've heard that the sets progressively got better and better as the game released. God, that's still really cool art. We have the foil rare Queen of the Sand Sea. And so apparently the 4th set that released like pre-COVID, which by the way, COVID I think was the main, well, maybe not the main, but like the final nail in the coffin. And this is true of a lot of games. Games we're actually going to look at on the channel going forward. I've got a couple of other things. Like, in fact, sitting to the left of me, I have a couple of other things we're going to look at. Ooh, we have Mara, Mischievous Witch, foil, common. Then we have a Ghostly Demise, foil rare. That's pretty cool. We're going to look at a couple of other games that have sadly gone the way of the dodo. One of which was recommended to me by my good buddy Kel over at Red Zone Rogue. It's a game that he absolutely loves, and I am going to take a look at because he likes it so much. He has a full play set of the game. Ketsu, the living armor. That's pretty cool. Man, this really does remind me a lot like naming conventions of Yu-Gi-Oh! That and the life total kind of thing. Very interesting. Very intriguing. Lots of math, I would imagine, having to be done. If you're like, well, this attacks for 500, minus your 3,500, plus 1, 1,000. Like, you're just bouncing back and forth between these numberings. Oh, wow. No, holy crap. What is that? Jamil Celestial Wielder. That's the dude from the box, isn't it? Yeah, it's literally the dude from the box. That's gotta be pretty good, right? There he is. Just jamming out some, I don't know, lightning magic. Let's look. I'm gonna have to stop and look. Okay, stop, wait. So we're comparing these two symbols. This is something that's kind of annoying. They're the same symbol, right? They, like, the symbol on the bottom center looks the same. But they're not the same rarity, are they? I guess they could be. This one has a purple symbol. Maybe these are Argent rares. And maybe this is a secret rare. I guess that's a possibility, like an Argent rare versus a secret rare. This has a circle in the center. That has a circle in the center. I don't know, man. You know what? I bet you the video, you watching the video, you'll tell me. You'll be able to tell me. And we'll know. That is a cool looking card. 3,500, arrive if you have 5 or more cards in your hand. Let's just look at it. Come on. The next water card you play this turn costs 0 to play. Otherwise, draw X. Oh, dude, drawing cards. I'm a fan of drawing cards, so that's a cool looking card. Dude, okay, so here's the thing. Man, opening these cards makes me want to, like, actually play the game. That's a good sign. That's a really good sign. When your packs like this make me want to sit down and play the game, that speaks to, I don't know, something about your design. It speaks to maybe the effects themselves. And again, I haven't played it, but I can understand some of these effects, like at face value, would be pretty good. And it makes me go, okay, well, that seems like a really good card. I would want to try and play that card. And it makes me want to actually try playing the game. So apparently there's, ooh, we got a common, foil common, and a foil super. Ariana, Hope of Argos. Just chilling with a giant robotic... Is that a robotic gorilla with a koala inside? I'm pretty sure that's a robotic gorilla with a... that's just weird, man. But kind of cool. It speaks to the design. It speaks to, I guess, from an opener's perspective as we open these. There's 2 packs left after this one. It speaks to, I guess, the excitement that you've been able to create in your openings with these different kinds of foils, with cards that look and appear to be, like, powerful off the top. We have a foil rare. Like this, man, that art kind of gets covered up by the foiling. It's kind of annoying. The the Spirit Emerald. 2 packs left. I don't know. Maybe I should buy more Argent Saga stuff and give it a whirl. By the way, I got this box from Bill over at Reaper Game Store. You should definitely support Bill at Reaper Game Store. Huge thank you to him for sending me this box so that we could take a look at this. The video, super good. Wow, look at that. That's cool. Treat with the common foil. We got another super. Geez, like that looks like it would be really cool art, but I just can't quite make out all the details because the foiling covers it up. Which is kind of depressing. Therein lies the one of the things with this game that I heard complained about. As we go into the last pack, it's like there are times and certain pieces of art that I'm like, yeah, okay, cover that all the way up. I don't care that much. But then there are some like that piece where it's like I want to see her expression. Is this like an expression of haha I got you, or like oh no I'm trying to save you? But we can't tell. So it is what it is. And we end with a foil rare magical Gigant. I don't know. It's a play on gigantic, I guess. Magical Gigant. This card costs 1 less to play for each spell in your discard zone. Wow, he's 10. That's expensive. He's 5,500. Get ready for maths on that one. So that is Argent Saga. You know, out of a box of 24 packs, we ended up with a good little chunk of cards here, which is kind of cool. Man, this is a really pretty card. Tell me, is this guy good? I would love to know. I'd love to know if you played Argent Saga. Tell me about your experiences with the game. Tell me about what you loved about it. Tell me about what you want to see with it going forward. Are they trying to do the community-like driven content going forward or what? But these are some pretty looking cards. It's an interesting game. It does make me actually want to try the game out and see what it's like and play it and experience it. I kind of wish I would have given it a shot while it was still alive just to see the experience of playing the game, you know, but that's one of those things. I guess there's a reason that not enough people did that and the game wasn't able to continue. I think COVID has a lot to do with it, and you know, there's going to be a couple other games we look at that maybe COVID has a fairly large hand in the demise of. So that's the game. Let me know what you thought about this video, about this opening. Was this nostalgic for you? Did you enjoy seeing these cards, perhaps for the first time like me? If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com. You can check out the different Patreon tiers. I appreciate all of the supporters immensely. You guys make the world go round. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.